Hi, I'm here with Rod Aaron, who's the president of Rotolight, and I'd like him to introduce his brand new AEOS.
Thanks, Brian. So this is the Rotolight AEOS, brand new for NAB 2017. This is the light that's designed for location and portrait photographers as well as filmmakers, and a couple of really nice, unique things about the product. The first thing is it's one of the thinnest, lightest weight panels on the market. So it's under an inch thick and less than 3 pounds in weight, so that I can pick this up and move around with it, work the light onto my subject. It's also the first LED panel in the world that has integrated aluminum handles in the product, so it's really easy for me to work the light around. I have 1/4-20 threads to put it straight onto a lighting stand. It comes with a beautiful 360-degree ball head, which allows me to achieve really unique angles with the light and therefore control my spill and shadow. Now, a couple of things that are synonymous with the Rotolight brand is the round shape, which gives me a very flattering catchlight in the eye, very soft output of light. It's bicolor, very simple to control. Now, unlike a lot of LEDs that simply have a warm or cool dial on the back, this tells you the Kelvin all the way from 3150 tungsten up to 6300 Kelvin. That really is accurate, that number. A couple of really cool, unique features in here. So if I click both buttons, let's say I'm doing an interview like we are now, and I want to do a nice little transition to fade to the next scene, then we actually have a designer fade mode built into the light. So I can program in a fade, pick the number of seconds, so say 3 seconds, and that does a custom fade to black for me, which is really useful in an interview scenario. The next thing, which again we have a patent for, is something called true aperture dimming. I can tell the light what ISO I'm shooting at, so let's say I'm doing an ISO 400, for example. What's my shutter speed, so let's say 100th of a second, and how far is the talent from the light? Enter the distance here. The light now calculates the optimal f-stop for me to achieve a perfect exposure. Now, if I'm shooting with a prime lens and I want to shoot at f2 because of the depth of field, I can now dial in f2 on the light at that ISO and at that shutter speed to get the perfect exposure. So that's a really cool feature. So one really unique feature on the Rotolight is we have something called cinematic special effects built in. So I just simply go into the light and I can pick something, for example, like lightning. I can control the speed of the effect. I can do things like fire and television. Now, one feature which is phenomenal for photographers out there is at the moment, if you're shooting strobe, you have the advantage that strobe's bright, but the downside that regardless of what you're buying, there's always some sort of recycle time. On a top-of-the-line product, it might be 1 second. On something else, it might be 3 or 4 seconds. Now, you've got a bride walking down the aisle. You're taking a camera nowadays can shoot 10 frames per second. Only one of those shots is lit. With this can strobe at 200% of the normal brightness, but it does it with no recycle time. So for example, if I'm shooting with a Sony a6300, this camera can shoot 11 frames a second. Every one of those 11 frames, I'm just going to get this set up right now, every single one of those 11 frames is illuminated perfectly. Now, with the strobe, you can't adjust the color temperature. The only way to do that would be put a filter on that's going to cut output. This will flash at any color temperature, no recycle time, and it has a modeling light that's really reflective of the product. So to summarize with AEOS, you've got the thinnest, lightest panel on the market, integrated high-speed sync flash, special effects, and the whole product is US $999. Comes with filters, comes with the battery plate. It's the new Rotolight AEOS.